Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Mech Engineer as we're not even out of the first day yet, so we are going to get started here. The last episode was very much more of an informational focus. Right now, we are actually going to start working on getting things done. So, in the last episode, we ended with a fight, excuse me. We had our four, I keep wanting to say armored cores because I've been watching some armored core stuff from VodiVidya, but we have our 4 mechs as well as our 4 squad members from Team 1. They're all exhausted, and these guys are all in maintenance. So the idea being, you can only send these out once per day, and you can only use a squad member once per day. I think that may not be completely correct, but if it isn't, I'll figure it out eventually. So in the meantime, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to start our research, so we can improve our mechs, unlock new mechs, and continue on with a bunch of different stuff here, starting with our science teams. So you can see we have 160 people on the science team, and much like the engineering, it is a reusable resource. So in this case, the tank gun, which is a large firearm, takes 2 days to create, or 2 days to research, excuse me. And after the research, you get 1 of that particular instance, and then also is going to cost 80 staff members. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And the second thing that we are going to do is the first generation engine. So this is an improvement on our engine. It allows us to carry more weight, potentially provides us more power in future iterations, and it also has 80 staff requirement. It is going to take 4 days though, so it's going to be putting us out a little bit longer than normal. No problem with that. And we are going to start taking a look at production. So this is something that I am not fully, I don't fully get everything just yet. And so I'm continuing to learn about it and continuing to understand the process. But basically, you can build all of the different mechs that you need here. So we're going to start with components. And we have 125 components currently, or we have 100 components, but we are producing 125 of them. I'll tell you about how those are used in the next stage, because that's what we're going to be doing after this. But for right now, suffice it to know that we need more components, and that's what we're going to do. So it's going to take us 8 days in total, and if we want to keep our mechs safe, we also probably want to build some armor. We have enough cockpits for right now. We have some additional engines that we could purchase, but I don't think I'm going to improve our engines because I'm planning on getting the next generation of engines from this research, and then I will go from there and potentially build some of those. Same thing is true for the, what is it? The things, come on, guys. Help me out here. Nope, need to go to reactors. Injectors and pistons. Thank you, sorry. In any case, so for right now, we are gonna go ahead and put out some, see, I don't know what this means, but we're going to put out some additional armor plates. So I think I am going to start with the relatively cheap armor plates here. And this is because they're very light. We don't necessarily have the engines to put on too much more. So we could actually look at getting these guys as well. So maybe we do an order of this, which costs Scalonite and 20 engineers. And then a little bit of this, which is 50 metallite, and then also costs 10 engineers. So we're dropping our engineering team a little by little, but not too terribly much. In any case, we don't really need more of the weapons here, or at least the Gatling cannon, because we do have quite a few, and I think we're going to be in a good spot. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bestiary here. So these are the guys that we're fighting right now. This is the guy that we want to fight. They're very large compared to a human, but not so large compared to a mech. The other thing is that you can see here, if you read, that in severe storm conditions, specimens are twice as large. They also take significantly less damage from energy-type weapons, and they run twice as fast and spawn more often from ovums during the activity phase, which is associated with the general activity of the nearest hive. So there's a couple of things that are important to recognize here, but the reality is these are the generic guys. We don't really need to worry about them too much. They have 13 health. Our machine guns do 8 damage, so 2 shots will kill any one of them, and the machine guns fire very quickly, as you can see here. So it's really not a big deal. In any case, we'll go back here, and the next thing that we need to do is we can see this bar here. This will allow us to actually upgrade our city. And as I kind of showed in the intro stage to the very first episode, this is where we get upgrades. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take a look at how our energy, damage, components, consumer goods, etc., 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 is all doing. We can also see that we get different incomes from District 23. And I gotta be honest, this is probably one of the most frustrating parts for me because it doesn't really, it's not very easy to understand. If you want to figure out where something is, you just have to click on it. Okay? Oh, this is a weaving factory. How was I supposed to know that? Who knows? But in this case, you can see if you mouse over which things are associated with which part of the city. So if we wanted to upgrade consumer goods, anything with a blue circle around it will be able to do that for us. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and start by upgrading a couple things here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to focus on making sure that we get the most efficient upgrades possible. Now, the second thing that I want to take a look at is the production. So you can see here, damage to District 56 highly increases the time of component production. So if we go here, we go to, nope, calendar, sorry, there we go. Click that. We want to hit 56, the upper factory. Affects the speed of component creation. So I am going to go ahead and click this. So this will cost components, will upgrade, and hopefully, I need to click do not show these again. Hopefully you'll be able to see, for example, that this is now slightly lower. So if we cancel that, we can put that down as 6 days. Now, the only other thing that I would consider doing is, if we want to do this again, we might be able to make that happen. And I think that might even be valuable. So let's get this done. I'm still experimenting with the strategy here, but I really think that it can be valuable. So in this case, it's going to be 4 days to produce production. And while we are struggling just a little bit, it is going to be valuable, I think. So let's go ahead and do that and that. So these guys are now being built. I think what's happening is you're being... I don't quite know. We're going to figure this out. But in any case, lastly, we do have our calendar here, and the calendar shows us what is going on. So we can see that this is like a research thing. I don't actually know what the people is. It happens every Tuesday, but I don't know what it is. The research is the pawn looking thing, and the present looking thing, I'm just guessing here, is going to be production. So you can see here that the armor is going to be done on Thursday, the components are going to be done on Friday, and we're going to have a lot of stuff. The only other thing to mention here is that this stuff goes, the upgrade meter goes up 1 per day. So we're going to have a couple days where this is kind of building up, and then we'll be able to quickly burn through that. And then after that, I'm going to start doing some of the stuff that is the most impactful. So for example, this one is going to increase, if we do this for 40 components, it's going to increase components by 2, city damage by 1, and city energy by 1. Comparatively, right, we can take a look at this one. It's increasing 1, 1, 2, 2. So it's slightly more efficient. And you're really generally looking for stuff like that. So for example, let's see if I can find something that's somewhat impactful. Okay, like this, the water supply system. 1%, 1%, 3%, and 1%. So that's an objectively pretty decent upgrade. You can also see it costs a lot of components, and that's kind of how they counterbalance things. So, other than that, I think we're in a good spot. So let's identify what we want to do in the next day, but before that, let's go ahead and click next day. So, at the end of each day, you get to see how things are working. You see what kind of metal you get. You get to see how your city is faring. In this case, the first day is always terrible, right? So we're overall efficiency of minus 0.5 or minus 50%. You can see the food supply went down, the wounded humans went up, life support systems are down, consumer goods, components, city damage, city energy, etc., etc. And that is very, very normal, at least for the first day. You'll start to see things, it'll still go down in subsequent days, but not nearly as bad. So let's go back to the missions available to us here. And there are a couple things that we're seeing here, right? A yellow, what is that? Pink, blue, green. I don't know what those mean. So we're not going to deal with it right now. But what we are going to deal with is looking at that city. So this city is where we find clues. Once we find the clues, we can go look at different things that, different pieces of the ship that'll help us, or different pieces used for the ship that'll help us get off planet. You can also see my guys are ready to go, so let's go ahead and select our spot. So select the map card again to confirm. The minimum recommended number of mechs for this battle is 4, but the maximum is 8. They don't tell you that. But more advanced models can cope alone. Always check the map temperature and the types of enemies it has. So in this case, right, we've already kind of discussed the temperature here, the type of map, what resources are available, and what enemies you are going to face. You can also see a quick map here. So let's think about this. If we want to move our city, we can move up, down, right, and left. We can only go to these guys. And again, this is a minesweeper map. So it is very possible that there is a big bug nest in any one of these. If that is the case, we're not going to actually be able to move our guys there. It is a source of tremendous resources, but that's about it. So for this case, though, we have options here and options here. They're both the same. We can check to see if there's any special resources here. And it looks like there is some here and some here as well. And then we can also check what the biome is. So volcano is going to be a no-go for right now. But 2 swamps, we can do. And the reason the volcano, just FYI, is not feasible is simply because it's too hot. We don't have the material or the research to make it so that our mechs survive. That's just the bottom line. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to go here because let's see, hold on. This is a desert. So desert is pretty spicy, but it's not terrible. But otherwise, we would have to go over 4 or over 3 and up 1 to get that. Actually, you know what? Let's go down here as well. So if we move down here, we can go around, and then that will also put us closer to the other city as well. Wastelands are not great, but they're tolerable. So we're just going to go in with Team 1 right now, and let's go ahead and put the team together. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, you know what? There's one thing that I really want to check out. So team lead needs to go. That's Steel. Steel, you're going to be... I'm going to rename you, so... Squad lead. You have what exactly? You do have a minimum distance. Okay, perfect. So squad lead. Perfect. I don't know. I don't think you can name weapons, can you? No, that would be really cool. But I think that would be a little too much. So in any case, let's go ahead and send squad lead back out. And you'll notice that did take about 8 engineers. It's just refitting, essentially. No big deal there. And boom. All right. Load you up, Trigun, Mr. Pink, and Trigun 2. You need to be Trigun 3, but I'm just going to ignore it for right now. All right. Now, the other thing that I didn't touch on in the past was that you can see how much it's going to cost to send your troops out. So this costs I think this is the cost for ammunition, is my guess. And then the cost for, or maybe that's something else. I'm not entirely certain. So again, I apologize. But this is the cost in Bjorn and the cost in, what is that? Is that Metalite? Is it Metalite? Well, we're about to see. Yep, Skalinet. Bjorn and Skalinet. So, we've kind of touched on this before. We're going to ignore that for right now. Let's go ahead and look at our troops. So we can see here on the radar that we have a bunch of stuff. One thing I didn't touch on is that there is a full screen mode. So if we toggle the controls between manual and automatic, I don't think I ever use automatic ever. It probably should, but this is a more full screen representation of the map. And you can see here that there's some interesting things that we didn't have to deal with before. So first and foremost are these red blobs. These red blobs do not damage you to the best of my knowledge, but they cause significant slowdown. Now, the cool thing that I didn't realize when I first ran into these is that your mechs actually have the ability to grab other mechs and drag them away. So if one guy gets stuck in here, your other allies can drag him around. The other thing that we need to notice is that this guy is terrifying. What does this guy do, you might ask? Well, he is the big bad boss of this level. He is essentially the Nest Lord. And in order to kill it, you need to first destroy the energy shield and second, destroy it. Now, the problem is it has a very large and in charge energy beam, which can very, very quickly kill one of your mechs. So you need to approach it appropriately. And you can see this circle right here is its range. So there is a possibility that you can go right in here and kill it very quickly. The other thing that you haven't seen before that you can see now are these blobs. These blobs are nests. They're kind of like mini nests, and these are where the enemies spawn from. So under normal circumstances, you start with nothing, and then these guys will spawn whatever enemies you have seen on the map. The last thing to pay attention to, and I don't think I touched on these previously, is the bruckus. Now, these bruckus are essentially giant worms, and these worms allow you to, they spawn some things. They have some defensive turrets, which are a little bit painful. They shoot at you. But more importantly, they release resources. So when you kill these guys and you collect the resources, that is how you improve your returns, other than building stuff from your base. So let's go ahead and drop down to here because I prefer to see a little bit more about my troops and how they're working. So first and foremost, we are going to go up here. So the reason I want to go up here is because we can still have most of the enemies funneling in through here. All of the big, the nests are pretty much centrally located. So we'll probably go from here down around. And I don't think to this point, I have not seen a time limit. We'll go here and shoot these guys, and then here to shoot up, and then these two at the end. So realistically, the big concern is, of course, that we have enough firepower to kill all these little guys, and because we have 3 Gatling guns, which are relatively well equipped, we will. So let's go ahead and start that. We can start here, and then actually, you know what I should do? Let's go ahead and draw this. So you can see this is how we start to draw the unit movements. One thing I have not touched on previously is that your units can actually disobey you. And this is not very nice, but, oh, you know what? We're already done. Nice. All right, whoops. But your units can disobey you, and sometimes do. It's actually quite annoying. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and move over here. We are going to just move over here, try and kill this nest, and then move back around, I believe, because we don't want to get stuck in there. But anyway, your units can disobey you, and generally that means that they are uncontrollable. So, for whatever reason, let's say Team 1 SL decides that he just wasn't feeling it that day. What that means is he can just stand around and do nothing and end up dying. It's kind of it's an interesting predicament, I'll say. All right, so let's see. Ooh, let's see if we can get this bruckus. That would be phenomenal here. So let's select one. One needs to shoot there. And you can see these, they launch out those, these turn into turrets. Okay, perfect. So let's leave, please. All right, and you can see these red dots, this is where the turrets are. So, at this point, we'll go ahead and draw a route around here. And let's see if my art skills help me out. There we go. So let's go ahead and make the squad move. They're still going to be chased by these guys, but we're not concerned. As you can see, they handle them nice and quickly. And on top of that, the penetration is very, very simple to do. Oh, ruckus. Let's kill that, please. I would love to kill that and get the... Ah, darn it. Okay, that ruckus might get away, unfortunately. But that's... Okay, that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and just keep moving. So, I believe that after a certain period of time where they're damaged, the bruckus actually just run away and leave the map. So, absolutely my fault not seeing that. But, in any case, let's go ahead and move... Okay, you guys are going to move here. I'm going to go around. And there is something that I have not touched on yet, and that is digging. There is a very real way that your troops can dig around the map. So, you may have noticed in previous iterations that I turned off this drill arm. And this drill arm is actually capable of, digging through these walls. So if you have units with a drill arm, they can just straight up dig through everything. And it is quite useful. It can absolutely mean the difference between victory and defeat. So, let's go ahead and move up here. We'll deal with these guys. And I think this is going to be a very, very simple mission. So long as we don't do anything stupid, which I'm hoping we won't. There's a couple other things that while we're working with this, we can show you. So this one is not selected, that's fine. But we actually have artillery. We have 5 of them in total, and this is all based on the troops that we have in the base. So let's go right. Actually, I want to make sure that we're staying out of range. So we can go up to here and successfully attack that. So you can see the energy shield is now down. We have our rocket going up, and then that little HP bar right there is all we need to focus on. No real reason to move in super, super quickly, but as you can see, actually, these guys are connecting to each other. It's inefficient, that's fine, but we can still do that. Let's go ahead and move forward. There we go. And at the end of it, there... Oh my goodness, come on, guys. All right, well, on the plus side, at least they're moving. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make sure these guys are gone. I don't see any other turrets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send Unit 3 down here to collect these. Send Unit 4 up here, 2 here, and then 1 here. We should be able to collect all of these relatively simply, but still, it's just a little easier that way. So, and to the point that I mentioned earlier, the Bruckus is gone. So let's collect all this. We're gonna make sure everything's good to go. And let's go ahead and continue on our mission. Now, at the end of it, this is where we have to capture the base. Essentially, the big monster that was protecting it, all you need to do is move a unit over there and capture the base. Once you reach 100%, which was notated there, it happens very, very quickly. The mission is done. So it's difficult because sometimes you miss some resources and so on and so forth. And the other thing that I didn't touch on at the end of the last episode was that you can look at your statistics, and these statistics are incredibly, incredibly valuable for identifying how your mechs perform and how your troops are performing together. So if you look at Team 1 SL, number of overheats, 0. He didn't have any time spent cooling. He didn't disobey orders at all. We look here, disobeying orders, the S3 disobeyed for 15 seconds, which you'd be amazed at how quickly that adds up. 14 seconds, 11 seconds, interesting. So the squad leader is really important here. Reloading for explosive weapons, 37 seconds compared to 26 seconds, 29 seconds, and 26 seconds. So you can tell for whatever reason, T1S2 was firing a little bit more and had to reload more. On top of that, you can also see the amount of ammunition spent, 2,600. And here's the interesting thing too. So 3,026 seconds, 3,029 seconds, and then 26. So part of that is also their CBS time, their statistics, and how that plays into things. But lastly, we can look at the precision, which is the accuracy. Hey, maybe, these guys aren't doing things as efficiently as they could, and I get that, and I should modify that, but for right now, it doesn't really matter. Average distance to the enemy, 300. Kinetic weapon efficiency is 2%. So a bunch of different things. You can also add medals to your troops. These are just cosmetic according to the developer, but nonetheless. So let's go ahead and move our city down. So at the end of this turn, we are going to move down to here, which will open up a new set of things available to us. In this case, we're going to leave maintenance here first. Let's go ahead and pop Mr. Pink out, and we can make you Trigun 3. I am doing my best to be a little more consistent in how I work with things, because it's a little tricky, at least for my brain, to figure out how things are working. And yeah, so in any case, we have Trigun 1, T1S1 is at level 3. So we have rescuing a mech from... Okay, right, already was level 3. T1S3 leveled up to 2. Gotcha. There we go. Now, let's take a look here. So in our production value, let's see. We want to probably add... Do we want to add some layer 2 stuff, I think? Possibly. So this is the thin layer that goes on top of the thick layers, and they provide a certain amount of passive armor for a certain amount of weight. In this case, both of them are relatively cheap, It does cost some scalonite, and a lot of engineers, relatively speaking, compared to like 10. But we do have the engineers to spare right now, so let's go ahead and put that on, and then let's all... want to do 2 of them? Let's just do 1 layer of each, so we have a little bit of a backup layer. Alrighty. Now, how are we doing on troops here? Zed is still improving. Gregory is still very, very low on HP. Bob is in the same way. So you will notice that during training, your HP will go down. Your HP is actually very, very malleable. So your vitality and stress resistance go up in the hospital, and they go down in training and or from taking damage. There's a whole thing, mathematical formula that goes in behind that. But regardless, let's go ahead and move forward. So at this point, we don't really have anything else we can do. We've already assigned our research team. You can see we do have 5 more than the day before, which is fine. So these things do go over time. And I guess we could potentially equip Marshmallow. I'm going to rename Marshmallow. You're going to be, I don't know. What should I name you? You're going to be Miner, because I am going to turn you into a digger. So this is the drill hand that I was discussing earlier. I do want to make sure that this guy gets as good of an armor value as possible. Let's see. So this is 3 weight. Ooh, there we go. Can we do this? So that puts him up to 17 passive armor. We want to make sure he's very, very tough. That's the reality. Don't really need a self-destruct system because I don't plan on letting you die. But I do think we're going to give you this. That takes you up to 170 out of 172. Now, the only other question is, do I need to modify anything else? And I think I do. So I'm going to give this guy some evasion modules. So this allows you to, it increases your evasion and increases your stability regen. I am putting these on this guy in particular because I do expect that at some point he's going to be getting into melee. We want to give him the ability to actually avoid taking that damage. So once we get upgrades to the cabins and the motors, this guy is going to be one of the first ones to get it, as well as improving his armor dramatically. The only other thing that I can actually take a look at is potentially looking at this energy shield, and that will take a bunch of energy, but does protect against energy blasts. Now, the energy blast, by the way, can be found in the, I guess, from various enemies, including the big enemy that we saw at the end. And while I'm here, okay, there we go. We'll get 8. All right, let's send him out there. And the only other thing that we can do with the mechs right now is I haven't colored any of them. I'm interested in doing that. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the next day. Perfect. So now you can see that our overall efficiency is 0.01. So on the whole, we did actually go up. We had some more food. The number of wounded humans decreased. The life support system was damaged by 1%. And city damage by 1%. Consumer goods by minus 0.22. So there is a direct link between, if I understand this correctly, there's a direct link between the food supply and the consumer goods. But for right now, we're just kind of moving with it. In any case, let's go ahead and take a look at the missions available to us. So this one is in a volcano at 281 degrees Celsius. Not something that we can afford to deal with right now. So if we look at Minesweeper, and here's the thing, I'm not very good at Minesweeper. I don't actually know what's going on right now. But we can see that this is actually a nuclear power plant, or a plant of some kind. Has 5 nests, 2 bruckus, and potentially something valuable for us. I don't actually know what that is. But I am concerned about the fact that it is at 107 degrees Celsius. So that might be something that we want to take a look at our reactors and go, okay, their cooling power is 2.2. Their resistance is 21 internal and 0 external. So let's take a look at what we can find here. The max temperature is 121. So MT is 120 max temperature. I think there's a way to... oh, here's the legend, by the way. So if you want to pause that, take a look there, and we can go from that. But, so the max temperature allows you to be present in various different maps without overheating. So while we may have an issue there, we can definitely take a look. And we can always, always, always retreat. Just saying. All right, so this guy is done. the science teams are available again, and let's take a look at what we have. We could do this with 20 staff in 4 days. We could do this with 70 staff in 2 days, and this with 40 staff in 3 days. So, rocket launch. I don't necessarily... blueprints for 2 missile systems from the General Military Database. I don't know what that does, so we'll figure it out. Needle bullets. Adaptations of kinetic weapons for underwater combat. So, increases the capability of projectiles underwater, or kinetic specifically, underwater. But I think that what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at... So we want to get this cabin 1 reinforced frame for the miner machine. And other than that, I really do want to get thin armor plates. So that will improve the armor plates available to us to, I think, level 5, I'm guessing, if I remember correctly. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do the rocket launch and the thin armor plates, since I don't foresee us needing these needle bullets in the next, let's say, 3 to 4 days or so. It could be the case that we go down here, and I think that may actually be underwater, but right now that does not look pretty. This is plains, wasteland, ocean. Okay, yes, so ocean is where you start doing these underwater things. So we have a plains, we have a wasteland, and I really don't like these guys. So these guys are high armor, high damage. We don't necessarily have the ability to fight them right now. So let's continue to look, though. At this point, I think we're going to go here. And if we need to just stay put, that's fine. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. All right, sorry about that. I had to do a quick cut here. But what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at... Okay, so we wanted this... let me remind myself what we're doing. So here's why I wanted to build that miner robot. Okay, you see what this is, right? It is a giant facility, right? And it looks like it's pretty difficult to navigate. Well, how much easier might it be if we have a digger, right? So let's go ahead and move one of our troops over to this other one. And we can move forward with that. So we're going to start with this squad lead, Trigun 2, Trigun 1, and then miner. So the miner is going to be most important to this mission. Let's go ahead and send them into combat. Alrighty, so off the top, let's go ahead and set up our manual controls. Look at the full screen, and we see 2 Bruckus here. That's actually very, very nice. Let's go ahead and make sure these guys are locked down. Okay, and then let's go hit this guy, for sure, for sure. Interesting that they have... Okay. Kind of problematic. What we're going to be doing here is, first off, let's go ahead and pop back. So I do know for a fact that we're a little bit low on... or we're a little bit on the high side for temperature. It's not, like, going to end us, but it's not great. So we need... number 4 to come here. Ooh, okay, these are giant sunspots, which can melt the ever-loving crap out of anything. Let's move through here. We can kill these nests. That's going to be all the better for us. Again, not very concerning, but I would really prefer not to have to deal with them, so I would also like to kill this Bruckus, if at all possible. There we go. And then we can move... Yep, so already... we are getting a little bit of overheating, and this overheating does damage the mechs, which is problematic. I think what we'll do is we will come down here. We're going to get Digger to... we're going to get the miner to move over here. Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, yes. He's overloaded. Yep, I'm aware. This is problematic. All right, let's get out, get out, get out, get out. Oh, dear. Now, here's the downside. That thing can do some absolutely terrifying work, and I just need you to get out. Yep. Go! Oh, my goodness. Okay, that's terrifying. Let's get these guys out of here. All right, the fact that she's alive is amazing. But in any case, we have the ability to just shoot this down. So that's what we are going to do. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working so well. So we are going to take some assistance from the artillery. Hopefully that drops the energy shields. I would like that to, at least. It didn't, of course. No big deal. Let's get these guys out of the way of these sunbeams. But I'm thinking that we just need to move down here. We just need to do some damage to the this guy. Everyone should be able to fire. Maybe not. Maybe it's that they're too far away. And this is, you know what, actually, this would be the perfect opportunity for the, come on. Nope, and everyone's, oh dear. Come on, reload, get out of here, get out. Woo! Dangerous. Yep, so we want to knock this guy down. Almost. We're getting there eventually, guys. I feel like this is probably a little bit more traumatic than we expected. So everyone is reloading, or their reactors are reforming. Realistically, as long as we can get most of these guys out of here, it's going to be even better. So that's going to be our limit here. But I'm also wondering, so here's the interesting thing. We could be very sacrificial about our troops. I am not going to do that, but we could, if necessary. Now, what I'm curious about is, why am I not seeing you fire at all? You're just not shooting? I don't know why that is the case, to be honest with you. Oh dear. Goodness. Perhaps someone could explain that to me in the comments, but I don't know why my rockets simply are not firing. Let's go ahead and knock this guy out. Oh, everyone's... It's not happening very quickly, is it? Oh dear, nope. Back off. There we go. All right, hold on. Here, we need artillery right now. Launch. There we go. Oh. Okay, that did a lot of damage. Still tolerant, though. We just need to kill it. Oh, come on. Okay. Whew. All right. Giant snail is gone. Now we just need to kill these turrets, which is absolutely doable. As long as we avoid the giant sunbeams here. And as you can see, I am really not the greatest at this, so I do apologize. I am learning that there's all sorts of new stuff here I didn't realize. You can change the way that works. That's pretty darn cool. So what's the normal one? Okay, normal one's here. Are we collecting that? No. Okay, T1, S2, miner. Yeah, you have the digger. The dig hands. I don't understand. Okay, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. We're just taking damage here that's absolutely unnecessary. So, in any case, we're just going to capture the base. We're going to take our loot and get out of here. Holy cow. All right. So, we found a lot of cool stuff. We found 61 components. We found 11 thingies. We found 13 thingies and 8 thingies. Serviceable compact nuclear reactors and parts for their maintenance. Local infrastructure of the enemy hints that this power plant clearly attracted its attention. It can help you gain a strategic advantage against giant monsters by luring them. Very cool. I have no idea why you were not firing, my friend. So let's... Amount of ammo spent. So apparently you did actually shoot. I just don't understand why, per se. We'll deal with that in a minute. But in any case, for right now, that is going... Oh, we have bait. Interesting. Okay. So after the very first section of taking some damage here, you can see that we have the ability to repair these mechs. So if we look at... Let's take a look at the miner here. I'm going to have to come up with a different name for that. But you can take a look at this menu, and the mech damage is sorted into 5 different types. So we can allocate personnel to repairs, balancing the damage, or we can repair it with metallite. So in this case, we lost a lot of hit points and a lot of armor. We lost a little bit of speed and a little bit of reload time, but realistically, it's not as concerning. For this case, though, we are just going to... we're just going to heal, fix everything. So let's send you back out there. And we're going to repair all. Still can't do anything right now. So we are going to start transitioning out Team 1 and allowing Team 2 to come in and do their thing. So other than that, though, let's see. Do we have anything else we want to do? We have... Oh, we do actually have some components that we collected from the last one. And we have 85 scientists that I think... what do we want to do with that? No. Why did that not save? Okay, weird. 25 scientists. I wonder if it's because I had to reload the application when I did that quick cut. But in any case, no big deal there. But now that we have these components, we have 85 in total, we can start working on something else. So in this case, I'm wondering, well, maybe we should do this. Or alternatively, what could we do to improve our efficiency? So city energy is good. I guess they're all really good. Increases the overall, functionality. But I think let's go ahead and start with getting the energy done. So energy is mostly associated with the green, which you can see, I think, there. So food supply. So this does 4% food supply, 2% or 1% on each of those, 1% here. Do we want to take a look at like a food farm? Repair bay affects the cost of repairing mechs. And you can see, by the way, there's a yellow bar and a blue bar. The blue bar is the requirement for this district to be upgraded, and the yellow bar is what this district is actually at. So if you look at the repair bay, it says, well, you need to upgrade the blue district to the next possible level in order to upgrade the yellow one. So in order to get this one, we'd need to go down here, which is the waste recycling center, and upgrade that. But in order to get that, we need to go here to the waste and minerals recycling center, which gives us additional resources every day. So why not? Let's go ahead and start with that. We can then take a look here, and we can see that, oh, hey, we can upgrade it. So it's basically a list of dependencies, right? And if this was going up, gives extra resources every day, and also increases the city damage components and consumer goods and so on and so forth. So I think that what we're actually going to do here, though, is we are going to be improving the larger, or the more cost-effective things here. In this case, I do like the idea of improving our consumer goods and food supplies, but I think city energy is going to be the most important one right now. So let's take a look at the main reactor. There we go. That's going to cost 75, though, so we can't necessarily do that. But can we do the additional reactor? No, because that needs to get upgraded, and that needs to get upgraded, and that needs to get upgraded. So let's go ahead and just do this one. This will be the upper connections, and then the disk itself. There is, of course, this stuff up here. But, alrighty. Let's go ahead and select the next day, I think. We're looking at that, right? Yep, so we're not going to be moving at all right now. I'm assuming, actually, that this is... Yeah, so this is also a unique instance. So it looks like these are unique instances of things that are going on around the map. So I don't think I've ever done this before. We're going to see about it. But in any case, we will go ahead to the calendar. Let's go ahead and launch things forward. We did get some additional armor, which is excellent. We lost a bunch of Metalite, even despite getting quite a bit from that mission because of the damage that we incurred. But we got a lot of Bjorn, Mutilon, Scalanet, and the city energy is doing well. Consumer goods are up, food supplies down, which again, I think those are kind of integrally linked, and overall efficiency of 0.01. Alrighty, guys, another kind of knowledge dense episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do let me know in the comments down below if there's things that you are still confused on that I can help with, or if there's things that I'm confused on that you already know the solution to. Either one of those I would be appreciative to know about so that I can either learn more or teach a little bit. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.